Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Undrafted Opinions, back again for the second installment.
Numero dos.
I am Richard Ridio,
My name is Jacob Bullard.
and welcome back to a show where we have alternative opinions on sports like soccer, baseball, basketball, and football, and whatever else is out there that is considered a sport.
Highlight.
Yes. I don't know what.
It's okay. Move on.
Okay. We have several topics that we're going to be covering. But before that, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and follow us if you're listening to us on SoundCloud. And also don't forget to hit that notifications button so you know when the video finally comes up. Unfortunately, it's a little bit quicker on audio. So if you want it as soon as possible, it will be on audio first. And then eventually it'll be on video like everything else. But let's get into it, Jacob. We have several topics. Like I said, we are going to be talking about the U.S. men's national game or team game versus Bolivia. That was yesterday. Group E through H for the World Cup predictors, and a little bit on the NBA and the NBA Finals on the two teams, and then we have our 2-minute minors. So let's steal second. Let's steal second, bro. All right.
Okay.
We're already on base. All right. The U.S. men's game. That was yesterday. I watched highlights because I was working at the time. But, yes, they played Bolivia. They won 3-0. The game was pretty much over by, like, the 68th minute, I felt.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
When I remember from the highlights, because I watched the expanded highlights, not just the short little 3-minute video. But it seemed pretty energetic. Also, I was very excited for Timothy Way finally getting his, like, first... I think it's his first start, like...
I think so too.
Against the other two caps, I think, or one cap was just a sub on from the last international friendlies that we've had. But he's the most excited player I have, or that I'm excited for, I guess, out of all these players. Obviously, Pulisic is there, probably going to be the mainstay, obviously. But him, I think having that combination of him and then Way, and then whoever we're going to eventually have in the middle, it's going to be pretty nice, I feel. We got to figure out the midfield. I think defensively we have enough there to have something like not world class, but that can potentially prevent world class from attacking us and scoring on us.
So basically, we're not going to get demolished.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's the
They're
idea.
good enough that we don't lose 10.
But we'll have enough going forward as well in the future to where we don't have to just completely rely on that. And that's because we're figuring out the midfield. McKinney, who's from Schalke, played. He had a pretty good performance. I like how he was like everywhere and anywhere. There wasn't too like the goals that we had. Like one was a mistake. Sargent got off.
Yeah, Josh Sargent scored the worst goalkeeper throw in the history. I don't know. Having just had
Karius
in the Champions League final, doesn't make this one look as bad, but under normal circumstances, it was a pretty terrible goalkeeper.
Yeah, that one.
Great first touch though, over his head like that.
What we're really good at in the world is set pieces. That was the first goal with Zimmerman.
Yeah,
good
header.
Yes, and then the last goal, what I'm trying to remember was Timothy Way getting crossed in from Ruben.
Yeah. I think you're right.
How do you say his name again?
I think it's Ruben.
Rubio, I think it is, or I don't know. He plays in like the Dutch league or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But the Eredivisie. But I was happy, especially with the last goal. It kind of felt like okay, this is good. Like I want goals like that. But I'm always satisfied with set pieces because I feel like that's our go-to way of scoring because we're that kind of country. We're not that we're not creative, but we're not at that level yet to where we can be like pass the ball around, and my niece is screaming so loud right now. I apologize. But everything seemed like it went well. What do you think?
I think it took a little while for everyone to kind of get settled into the game. I think I'm not really terribly impressed that we beat this Bolivia team. I guess I don't know what their A lineup looks like, but I doubt this was it. And I guess we share World Cup fates that neither one of us are going to the World Cup, so we're just like everyone's twiddling their thumbs. I think the average age of this roster was 22.
22 days 22 years and 160 days. I remember I saw a tweet. Sorry.
All right, so basically 22 and a half ish.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. It's good that I guess it goes both ways, because since we didn't qualify, we don't need to call in all of our veterans. There's really not a purpose, and some of them probably aren't ever going to get any like significant appearances again. Maybe a Gold Cup coming up in a couple years for some of them.
Yeah. I wouldn't be too. I would honestly would like if we would have this kind of lineup at the Gold Cup whenever the next one happens, which I think is next year.
It would be next summer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, 2 summers from now.
Because I mean, it's not that it's a big tournament like worldwide, but it definitely gives some kind of like tournament experience, and I'm totally for that. Like, usually the Gold Cup rosters are usually a MLS heavy one, but I'd rather have something where we have a mix of like these young players that we had, which I'm not that I was impressed, but these guys should have been called up I think earlier, especially for the friendly games that didn't matter before, or you know how we have those split weeks where we'll have like a World Cup qualifier, and then the next, for some reason, we have like just international friendlies.
Yeah.
Those ones we did not take advantage of, and bringing these kind of players into the system and melding them in with the veterans. And it's kind of like disappointing to also watch this, because I'm like, why didn't we get this guy into the system sooner or onto the first team sooner? And that's what it's like. It's frustrating, but it's good, because now we're starting to do that. I was surprised on how many guys we actually have that play in the Premier League, but like they're not obviously staples on their teams, but they're getting minutes and whatnot. Like Palmer Brown plays for City. I totally didn't know that. I know he was playing for KC, and I forgot who he got transferred to in Europe, and then I realized I was like, oh, okay, I'm excited for that. But yeah, there's a lot more. There's a couple other guys I'm blanking off my head right now, but I'm very much happy about what's going on right now. We're moving forward, and I'd rather have these younger guys in than some of the veteran guys like Altidore, who really
Altidore's injured anyway. He would have been there.
But regardless, I don't want to see these guys coming back in, and like Bedoya or I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head that like Dempsey. I'm not nothing against
Fabian
Dempsey.
Johnson.
Yeah, Fabian. I mean Johnson. The problem is we play him out of position, I feel, but that's another debate. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. Like, how did the U.S. men's national team do for you guys? You guys were impressed? Were you excited? Like I was kind of with Timothy Way.
Yeah.
And who do you think was the player of the man of the match? There we go. Let's get some involvement going on.
I think, like, real quick before we move on, the one thing that concerns me, I was really happy with like a bunch of people that we got to see, a bunch of people that got call ups, and I agree with you that we should have taken better advantage of having the international friendlies that we did, like during the World Cup qualifying and stuff like that. What concerns me now is that we do not have a head coach.
I think we're gonna have that done by like the next 3 months. I feel probably after the World Cup.
I mean, maybe sure, but like, who is evaluating these players? Like we had all these people come in, all of these young, hopefully up and coming players, and we're like put on this show. Look, we beat Bolivia 3-0, but like, what system are we playing? If like say Bruce Riener was still head coach, or Jurgen Klinsmann, or Bob Bradley, or like whoever, like they had like a particular style and like plan that they wanted to implement, and so they knew what they were looking for a little bit when like friendlies like this would come around, like when they're testing people out to see like how they could use them in their system, and like we don't have that at the moment. We don't have a style, or it's just like go out there and play.
I mean, it was interesting to see Pulisic in the middle instead of out wide, because I think that's what he played. Because they had Ruben and they had Way out wide, and then they had him, McKennie, and then the other guy I'm blanking out on who started too in the middle.
Sargent. Up front.
Sargent played up top.
Yeah.
There was another guy.
I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I'm blanking on. We have it right here. What the hell? We're stupid. Corona.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. I get that. I get that kind of critique, or whatever you want to call that.
It's just like whoever our head coach becomes, like he may want them to play a particular way, and like how they're I think what matters, not so much like this game, but like there was for the whole time that they were training and all of that. Like, what were they doing in training? Like, what were they practicing? besides just like absolute basics, like there's no plan at the moment, and that's what like worries me a little bit.
I can see that.
That sort
but
of
I
thing.
mean, again, we have 4 years.
Yeah, I know. It's early.
We have 4 years.
It's early.
But okay.
But I mean, like all these matter. I mean, I don't know.
We'll see. We're gonna keep updating. They play Ireland, I think on the 2nd, and then they play France eventually before the World Cup. So they're I think it'll be a good.
That'll go real well.
I think that'll be a good have a good assessment of what that is too, or what's the result of those. I'm not sure if Yedlin's gonna get, because I think it's not. I think it's one camp. I think they're gonna bring in guys in between games, so we'll see as well, like the changes and whatnot. But yeah, because I feel like Yedlin's gonna be the captain eventually, because I think he has the most experience, not just at the international level, but at the professional level, because of all the stuff he's gone through with some
of like the younger batch, like him and Pulisic.
Yeah, well, I would say him over Pulisic because of, he's gone through a relegation battle and promotion battle, so I feel like that has a lot to say in a way. I feel
okay.
There's a lot. That
sure.
that Tesla player. I feel like that is. I give him brownie points for that.
Okay.
All right, let's continue. The next topic is going to be the World Cup predictions. I kind of blanked on that for some reason. I'm
groups
trying to get my
E.
mouse.
We're gonna be looking at groups E through H. If you're just if this is the first episode that you're watching, episode 1 of the Undrafted Opinions podcast, we looked at groups A through D. So go ahead and check that out. If you want to see the first half of our predictions, we're gonna get into groups E through H right here.
And there's also snippet videos that we have that we cut up. And
right, where we broke out the first one, yeah.
But yeah, you can also check that one out as well if you just don't want to watch the whole thing for some reason. If people don't have that much time to waste. Here we go. Group E, we got Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, and Serbia. Now, I think the biggest threat of all these teams, Brazil could probably field like their C team, and I would think they would have a good chance of getting out of this group. So let's just say Brazil is probably going to win this. They got too much going forward, plus what happened to them in the last World Cup, 7-1 against Germany. I don't think that they're going to come back way more serious. I feel like they're the team that has the biggest redemption, kind of, in a way. Like their level of redemption is up there.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. They definitely don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
At least they're not playing in Brazil again.
But I think they're like the Blues Brothers. They're on a mission from God.
Okay.
Which is soccer God, which, them Brazilians are weird.
The only caveat for me for Brazil is that Neymar has not played in probably pushing like 6 weeks now since his ankle injury. So they're saying that like, oh, everything's fine, he's good to go, like he's returned training.
Well, I think that's probably why he took the time off too.
If he's rusty in the first couple group stage games, like, I don't know.
I think they have enough going forward against these other teams' backlines to where if they do miss them for like the first 2 games, I don't think they're going to be like too scared. Okay.
I mean that's probably true. I'm just saying.
Because it's like the same thing with the Messi argument. If they play without Messi, or they still have something there up top
on paper.
Yeah, on paper, but I feel like
especially in the Argentina's case, on paper
Coutinho,
without Messi, they have a bunch of people.
Coutinho, you got Willian, you got
Gabriel Jesus,
Firmino. I mean, that's still a lot going forward without Neymar. Yeah, I'm not saying it's like, oh, dude, like this is a solid lineup, but like without Neymar, I think they can still figure it out. And I think their back line, with leading by Thiago Silva, is still gonna be solid enough. And I don't think they're gonna. I mean, he didn't play in that 7-1 loss, so I think that says a lot too, because they got that red card, unfortunately. And hopefully, Neymar doesn't break his back again.
I mean, it's not like it was his fault he broke his back. He literally got like Spartan kicked in the back.
But yeah, so what game is the most important in this group?
Probably Costa Rica, Switzerland. So I think the winner of that game finishes second.
Finish that second?
Yeah. I don't think Serbia is gonna make a lot of noise here.
Yeah, because I think they only have the biggest players is like Matic and he's from the new Mitrovic.
Yes, and then they have an aging at this point, Alexander Kolarov.
Yeah, that's who.
There's a couple of people I know that are in there. Milinkovic Savic from Lazio, is he Serbian? I feel like he might be.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So yeah, they have like a handful of like mainstay players that play.
It's like most of those Balkan states that they have like 3-4 guys at least that are
Imagine if they
somewhat
were
renowned.
Yugoslavia though.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah,
like the team that you can put together with like the Soviet bloc countries, it'd be pretty crazy. So I think Serbia for me is 100% fourth place. I think the game between Switzerland and Costa Rica is going to decide second, and I give the edge to Costa Rica.
I'm going to go with Costa Rica too because
I think Switzerland were dreadful in the playoffs. They got one of the playoff spots, if I remember correctly, in the UEFA qualifiers.
I don't remember who they played.
And I just remember those. I think the first game was 0-0. Like it was just they were dreadful games. Like Switzerland did not. I want to say it was Switzerland Sweden, but no, that couldn't be because they're both there. I forget who they played. It was like they're just. I feel like they don't have anything
or something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a strong team either. So
it was a team that even Switzerland should have got through relatively easily.
Like, wait, what happened here?
Yeah. But like they did not play well in the qualifiers, and I don't know that they're going to be able to make too much noise either. I think Costa Rica, obviously, like they were quarter finalists in the 2014 World Cup. It was a little bit of a Cinderella story then. I think
a lot of those guys aged. I think Campbell, that was his breakout kind of tournament. Ruiz is a little bit older. They got a bunch of MLS guys when I looked at the roster. But they have guys sprinkled around in La Liga. I can't remember. There's a guy in La Liga I can't remember. He's a striker, I think.
Okay.
But they have like a sprinkled around guys in Europe too. Not too many, but like not to say that's I mean, look at last tournament, what's happened. But I think people are gonna know where they're coming from. So
yeah, I think they've definitely over the last 4 years established themselves as like a very respectable team from CONCACAF. I feel like it's no longer just the United States and Mexico. I feel like Costa Rica is definitely someone that can at least put up a fight. And on their day, like with Keylor Navas in goal,
Keylor Navas.
And
I forget about Keylor Navas.
I think that like that they have probably. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like some of the other goalkeepers from like B-level nations. I would say that they probably have the best goalkeeper that's not from like a major nation.
Probably like Oblak.
But okay. Let me rephrase that.
I would say from CONCACAF for sure, best goalie.
I was like, but is Oblak in the World Cup? It's like Slovenia.
Oh, out of all the teams.
Yeah.
I think you meant like in general.
Maybe that too,
yeah.
but in the 2018 World Cup, I think they have the best goalkeeper of like a B nation.
Yeah. Probably yeah. I would say yeah.
So I mean that just works for them too. That works for them too, and they're always like a really high.
From Gladbach.
Sommer.
Yeah.
And they have Switzerland have Sommer and they have Berkey.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I would put either one like for me anyway. Neither one of them are as good as Keylor Navas.
Yeah.
I think really that Keylor Navas is underrated in general.
He's easily top 10. Some people would argue like top 5.
I would say top 5.
Yeah.
I mean,
regardless of like the Real Madrid and stuff, like yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like some people will knock him down because he's playing for Real Madrid and say like, oh, he's top 10. But there's a lot of people that give him that top 5 argument.
I think.
For sure.
Well, yeah. I think personally he's in the top 5 for me.
Okay. So we got Brazil and we got Costa Rica going through.
Yeah.
So Brazil 1, Costa Rica 2. But who knows, man? Maybe Costa Rica could surprise again. Should be the number 1 seed out of that. So who knows?
Possible.
Let's move to Group F, and we have Germany, Mexico, Sweden, and Korea. Biggest game in this group.
It's gonna have to be like the two middle. I'm gonna say Mexico, Sweden. Oh, I don't know. I feel like
Mexico is not. They're gonna be the last one out of this group. I feel like Korea
really
is gonna be surprising enough. And I feel like
Sonaldo is gonna.
I feel like they're on the not that they're on the decline, but I've read a couple of things that are just kind of negative going towards them with like the squad and. Is Carlos Vela even going? Like, there's some players that are not going for some like coaching reasons and stuff. They have like that same thing going on with like France. So I heard, and then the morale is not very high because they don't obviously. I read a couple of things on them, so that's why I would say them on the low. And then
really, so you think Mexico's gonna finish 4th in that group?
I feel like they will. If not third, the best I think is probably third because I think that first game against Germany, they're just gonna get murdered.
There was an interesting stat that I saw. I think it was like the last like 2 or 3 World Cups that the holder, like the reigning champ, has not made it out of the group stage.
I don't think that's gonna be.
I don't know that this is gonna
because,
be
like the last World Cup. There's never been a European team that's ever won a World Cup in South America, and Germany did that.
Yeah.
So
they humiliated Brazil.
I don't think that's gonna hold in this one as well. I think if anything, they might get knocked out the next round, but I don't see them not getting past this. Now Sweden did hold their ground against Italy in that the qualifying game.
I don't really think that's saying much though.
But I'm saying, but like if they have the capabilities of doing that, but obviously Italy didn't have a striker. I mean Immobile was playing that game, but like that's the debate. Another debate on if they can hold up. I guess
they brought in their real striker for the friendlies, Balotelli.
But yeah, I don't think they're bringing Zlatan either.
I think that's right. I think they said that he's not going to be in the World Cup. Yeah.
So it's like it's a little. I mean, Forsberg. I think Lindelof got called. So I don't know if that's gonna help them out because I know they have like a bunch of guys from the Swedish league that are gonna be going. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head that's really a big name that plays outside of there besides like Lindelof and what's his name? Yeah, Forsberg. I know there's a guy in England. I don't remember Sigurdsson. I think he's like a left back.
Okay.
But like other than that, I don't have enough confidence in them. But I feel like I can't make the case that well for Korea, but I feel like they might be able to be the second team out of this. Because I think they're capable of beating Mexico. They're capable of beating Sweden. Those are the two key games for them. They really don't need to worry about that Germany game. The only thing that they need to worry about is not giving up as many goals. But they just need the 3 points against Mexico and Sweden to get by in this group.
I don't know. This is a tough one for me. Like, I honestly don't know who finishes second. I don't know. I think before this, I would have said Mexico easy, but I don't know. You've kind of convinced me that maybe there's some problems.
I think from what I saw, like their lineup, like it doesn't. I think they're not. They're. This is also a transitional, like, are changing the guard as well. There's a lot of younger guys that are coming in, and they're not having like those like the established names because a lot of their established names moved to the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
So that might have an effect on it too. I'm not too sure.
I think maybe we can throw Korea in there as like a dark horse. I really feel that all those bottom 3 teams, I mean, anyone not named Germany in that group is going to have a hard time putting the ball in the back of the net, is what I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like unless Heung-min Son just goes completely berserk.
Because I feel like I
don't know where the goals are going to come from in that team.
Korea has the best single player out of all 3 of those teams, I feel.
Wow.
Forsberg, Forsberg can probably. I mean, he's a great.
I guess I would agree with that.
Mexico, they have like a variety of players, obviously, and you want to have like a good, solid team. But I feel like
no one stand out.
Yeah,
not
no
like
one
Son.
stand out. Yeah.
All right. Sure.
Because I mean, like I said, I don't remember seeing Vela on their World Cup roster.
Okay, but would you put Vela above Heung-min Son anyway? I don't think I would.
I think I would.
Okay.
Because I feel. I don't know. It's tough. Because I don't feel like I've watched enough of Vela to make that argument.
Okay. So we got Germany. Obviously, we're gonna have Germany going through 1.
Yes. I mean, if you want to go with Sweden or Mexico, I'm fine with that.
Sweden, I don't trust Sweden.
Okay.
I don't know where their goals are gonna come from.
But I mean, I don't want to discount them as well with saying like, oh, them not holding against Italy is not saying a lot. I feel like that to me that does say a lot because I feel like they know this team's looked at, being said that they're not going to make it. Like, oh, thanks for participating, but they've overcome. So
if they replayed the I'm blanking here, the playoff games against Italy, I would expect Italy to win the next 99.
Yeah, but they didn't though.
That's true. But I like and this is Italy that is a ghost of past Italian teams. Like they are nothing compared to what they used to be.
In a way, I can agree with that, but like I still think they should have. Like it's like when we played Portugal in the World Cup. Like how did we even draw that game in a way? It's kind of, I don't know.
See, but I don't have Portugal that high on my list of nations either.
Okay, whatever, fine. Well, who are you gonna pick then? Who are we picking? Who's 2?
I'm okay with Korea.
You're okay with that? Okay, so we're gonna go with Korea then.
Sure. Why
So
not?
I've tarnished Mexico enough to where like
I
we
guess.
just-
I think we're gonna look real stupid, but we'll go with Korea.
Hey man, let's go with Korea, all right? Because they're gonna lose to Belgium. Oh no, they're gonna lose to Brazil. So, I mean,
Hey, at least Arjen Robben is not at this World Cup. In case Mexico gets through, there's not gonna be anyone diving in the box.
okay, all right, that's a good argument. All right, let's move on to Group G. We got Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, and England.
Oof.
All right, most important game.
I'm actually gonna say Panama Tunisia on this one as the most
How
important
so?
game because I feel like whichever one gets 3 points, I think both of them are going to lose to Belgium. One of them could nick a draw against England because you know that they have one choke job in them at all times, and then whoever wins that game between the two of them, whichever one of them drew England could squeak second place past England.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna say that Panama Tunisia is the most important game.
Okay. I'm gonna say no to that because I feel like England. I think they're gonna take this. Not that they're gonna take this tournament seriously, but I feel like they're somewhat bringing the right players. They've left behind some players that have like somewhat of a stain on, like just not that are internet. Like I feel like the only like couple call ups I question is like Ashley Young. Not to say he didn't have a great year, and I'm a United guy, but like I'm like, you gonna bring another left back?
I mean, but like, who else are you gonna have? Bertrand or, who's this? Danny Rose,
Yeah.
who was injured most of the year anyway.
I wish they would take Danny Rose. I feel like unless they are going to use him as not just as a left back, as a utility guy, but I don't think he brings enough to them defensively. I felt like I'm less confident in that pick, but I don't think he's going to start though, because I think who they have.
They played 3 at the back actually.
Yeah, because I'm saying like if anything they're going to have him as a wing back.
Yeah, they
So
were
like
3 at the back.
I think
with,
that
like,
system
Walker
of
in the
2 is
middle.
going to benefit them as well.
Having the wing backs.
In the wing back, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it gives like a less of a focus on getting out wide because they're already going to naturally get out wide.
Who's gonna score goals for England?
Harry Kane.
I don't know. I
You
feel
don't-
like what did Harry Kane do in the Euros?
I don't. Okay.
Harry Kane didn't do jack.
I think.
Correct answer, jack.
Okay. All right. Correct answer is Jack. But you also said that tournament is irrelevant because of with Portugal's statements or what you said with the Portugal group.
That was just in like context of Portugal. Like I don't put any stock in what Portugal did at the Euros because they won the Euros
Well, I don't
without
put any
winning
stock
a
into
game.
Harry Kane in the Euros either. This tournament, anything can happen. There's a player that can have a moment in this tournament like that just is in the right place at the right time. I feel like he's going to be able to help lead their front line, and there's enough on the supporting them to help that out.
He's obviously Harry Kane had another great year for Spurs. Raheem Sterling had a great year for Manchester City, despite the fact that he missed 100,000 tap-ins. Vardy is continuing. Everyone thought that both him and Harry Kane, everyone's like, oh, they're one and done. They're not gonna be able to replicate their success in the Premier League, and both of them have proved that they've been able to do that. But when they all put on that Three Lions white home kit, it doesn't work.
Okay.
They're all really. I think that all of their attacking
who
talent.
Who would be your 2 then in this group then?
Panama.
Because
Panama is gonna beat Tunisia
and
draw England and squeak through second.
So you're saying they're not going to give up? How many? I think if that happens though, like because then we're saying Tunisia is going to be the punching bag.
Yeah.
So England, so they're both going to have that 3 points. They're going to draw England. So you think England's going to give up more goals against Belgium?
England's going to have a shocker against Belgium, and they're going to get just destroyed. Panama's going to play with some grit and not get destroyed by Belgium, and that's going to be your goal difference. And England is only going to beat Tunisia 1-0. It's going to be Harry Kane in the 88th minute. He's going to score a header when they should have scored 17,000 goals in the first half. I think what we're going to learn here about England is that Gareth Southgate is literally driving blindfolded. That's what's going to be exposed here. No coach for England
I think he can
in the last 10 years.
Blindfolded, though, with this group of players in this group, though.
They have not shown that they can play together. If England couldn't do anything with the last generation of players that they had, they're not going to do anything with this generation of players.
I think the problem with the last generation was like the combination of Gerrard and Lampard being like almost similar, though.
Sure, whatever the problem is.
Okay, I don't know. We're really going to go with
Henderson.
Panama?
I personally, you can make your own bracket. I'm putting Panama second.
So
England's gonna choke. England is born to choke.
We'll go with Belgium and Panama.
Born to choke.
I think you're wrong, but we'll have to go with Panama because we have to move on.
It's gonna happen.
Okay,
You heard it here first. England out of the World Cup.
All right. Poland, Senegal, Colombia, and Japan.
Oof.
Most important game.
Oh man, I don't know.
I would say it would be Colombia and Poland. To see who gets out of the group.
I think this is one of the few. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think this is one of the few groups where it's not obvious. It doesn't feel obvious who's gonna finish first. I think it could be Colombia or Poland. Like there's not a clear favorite. Like I feel Belgium is a clear favorite to finish first. Germany is a clear favorite to finish first. Brazil is a clear favorite to finish first. I think in this group, it could be a little bit of a battle of attrition. I think that.
I don't think
Colombia, straight head to head.
Colombia's going to come short of goals at all. I feel like they have a lot going up top. Because
I guess
I'm somewhat impressed on how they've been able to make all that work.
Yeah, Falcao's recovered.
Yeah,
it seems finally.
Yeah,
after
he's mixed in with
failed
Thomas,
Premier League for a couple of years, but
and then Muriel, how do you say his name? Murillo, yeah, and then they have Cuadrado, sorry, and then the guy from Brighton.
Oh yeah, is Cuerdo or whatever? Yeah.
The midfield lacks, obviously. The back line, I can't even remember. They have like some La Liga guys there.
The one dude from Valencia, I know that.
Yeah, and that goalie, Ospina from Arsenal. Ospina. There you go.
Yeah.
So, I would say, obviously Poland with Lewandowski, like obviously, but I feel like after that it's like there's a lot of less depth.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just like who's the Drummond right back? I'm blanking. Starts with a P.
Piszczek.
Yeah.
They have what's his name? Lenetti from it's an Italian team.
Sampdoria.
And then they have I don't even know where Blaszczykowski is.
Last I knew he was at Wolfsburg.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure if.
And then they have I know there's like one guy that plays for Hull in the championship.
And then the guy from West Brom.
Oh yeah, Krakowiak at West Brom.
Yeah.
But I mean Robert Lewandowski is a world class striker. Like,
yeah.
All they gotta do is feed him the ball. He'll do the rest.
I would say I would be confident with Colombia being 1, Poland being 2.
Okay, I think it comes back a little. I agree with that, and what puts it over the edge for me is the CONMEBOL qualifying. I think it's just like all those teams. All the teams that make it through that are much more battle hardened.
I mean, there's a lot of credit going to Lewandowski. I think he scored the most goals out of anyone, all the players in the qualifying. But I felt like their road to the World Cup was a little bit easier from what I remember.
I feel like honestly, most of the European teams' road to the World Cup is team, because they're all like basically guaranteed to win their groups. When you're like beating up San Marino and the Faroe Islands every other month.
And I think Colombia was 2 in their qualifying, as I think I remember.
Okay.
So
I don't remember what the order was, but anyone who makes it through, like we were talking about Peru in the last episode, and like I feel that just like anyone that makes it through that, anyone that survives that, like they're for real.
Okay.
Because you're up against you're constantly playing like Chile, Argentina, Brazil, like those are and like those are games that those countries are taking seriously too.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're not getting their B teams.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
I'll give Colombia 1, Poland 2.
Okay. So that's our predictions. The next undrafted opinions episode, we'll go through the brackets. We're gonna have to write this down and then eventually look at it again.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have like something right here, or maybe we'll make something, we'll type something up or something like that. But yeah. Let us know. Do you agree with us at all? If not, let us know in the comments down below. And yeah, let us know about your predictions. It might be a little bit different from us, but yeah, type that in. So let's move on. We're gonna talk a little bit about season 4 of the NBA Finals. We got
season 4. All right.
There's a cute little Twitter video. It was the opening for Full House, but in the version with all the players.
Okay.
And
yeah.
It was pretty good, and they like put a filter over it as well. So
get that 90s feel.
Yeah, it was good. It was. I very much laughed for a little bit. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so we got LeBron James Cavs versus Kevin Durant and Steph Curry's Warriors.
Golden State Warriors.
Our discussion isn't about who was gonna win, unless we can say that at the end. But the relevant, or I can't say the word right now.
Relevant.
Yeah, the relevance. See of like how weird it is and how like uncommon it is to have 4 years in a row of this final.
So we looked before we started recording, and there have been a few different instances. It was like I think Celtics in the 60s, Celtics and Lakers in the 80s. Heat in the 2000s, was it 2000? Like late 2000s.
Yeah, Lakers in the early 2000s.
No, I guess it would be 2010s, the Heat game. Yeah, 2010s for the Heat, where they got what we were looking was 4 consecutive finals appearances in the NBA.
Well, not just that, 4 consecutive to the same team
Right, but that didn't happen.
Yeah,
but like just the fact that like any one team made the finals 4 consecutive times which has happened a few times in NBA history.
Yeah. In
like different eras, once like before the 3-point line, all that stuff, and we looked also at the NHL. There was back when it was like the original 6, there were a few teams that made it 4 times in a row, but again, it wasn't the same 2 teams playing each other 4 times in a row. And I think more so than just talking about like the finals themselves and like these 2 teams, it's also kind of, I feel, a referendum on the league. We were talking in episode 1 of Undrafted Opinions about the Golden Knights and how it shines a light on the rest of the NHL that this like team made of a bunch of misfits basically has like made it so far. And like on the other end, for me, it's like we've had the Golden State Warriors and the Cavaliers for like a 4th year in a row, and like no one seems to be able to do anything. Like everyone is waiting now.
I would say this year they both series went to Game 7, and they had to force a Game 7. I think for both series. So I think you're seeing that kind of almost drop off. So we almost had a Celtics, Rockets series.
I think we
were one step away from that. I feel like I think next year was going to be the year where we're definitely going to see a switch to the finals.
I think the only reason we're gonna see a switch, especially in the East, I want to give Celtics some credit.
Yeah,
because like they got as far as they did without Irving and without Hayward.
Yeah.
And they did like give a pretty good, like they made LeBron James work a little bit harder.
Yeah, they did.
Because he carried the Celtics across. But in the East, I think the only reason the Cavaliers might not make it next year is because LeBron James might not be there. I think really what like the consecutive finals appearances thing is going to be is like the Warriors and whichever team has LeBron.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is like Philly's going to be another team, I think, because like they got their years of experience. I think even the Pacers too. Well, they had some free agency signings the year before.
And I mean, the Raptors were the best record in the East, and then choked it again, and they fired their coach won coach of the year in the NBA, and they fired him. Yeah, so I'm sure he won't have a problem finding a job, but.
Yeah.
But I feel just like everyone is waiting. The Celtics, like I said, like they made a push this year, a legitimate push. But like I feel like everyone else is just waiting for LeBron James to not be there anymore. Like no one's figured out how to beat LeBron James.
Yeah.
And I think in the West,
the Spurs.
The problem in the West is is that or no one in but the Spurs beat him in the final. I'm talking like in the Eastern Conference itself, because like LeBron, like the team with LeBron James.
Well, because like his wall were like the Celtics with the big three, the original big three they had there. Like I remember, no, he got into a final before that, but I felt like after that, like once they got that three together,
He dragged the Cavs to the finals before he left for.
Yeah, it was like that 1 year.
Yeah,
but like that was
like Varejao and a couple of I don't remember, but like
it feels like there's a lot of teams. It seems like it's easier to go to the West because there's more not that there's more competition, but like there's better combinations than on the East. I feel, but I feel like
what do you mean? Because like I feel like
because I mean like you look at OKC, and then you had the Rockets with all those big moves.
I feel like it's like so in the East it's like everyone's chasing LeBron James, and in the West everyone's chasing Golden State, but like there are way too many teams doing nothing right now on both sides, and I feel like the teams, like even to this point, maybe it's just a testament of like how good like the Warriors and LeBron is on like both sides, but like no one came close. Like I feel like the Rockets losing in Game 7, I feel like that was almost a best case scenario for them.
Do you think it's also a result of like having the lottery and not having like the actual worst teams get the best player?
Maybe a little bit.
I feel like I
also blame Kevin Durant a little bit for joining the Warriors, because like that made them, they were already like very difficult to beat, and like adding
they already won a title.
Like they have their starting lineup has 4 Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
like that's a little bit ridiculous. And they were already a championship team, and then added Kevin Durant.
Well, I think he made that decision because of LeBron. Because when LeBron left the Cavaliers, he's like, "Well, I need to change the environment, but I also want to have a better chance of winning a title." And it seemed like he probably was going to do that at OKC anyways.
Yeah, I don't think that they would have won a title at OKC.
Yeah, so I think there was that argument I saw a couple years ago with LeBron having that change in environment and having to like, I'm making an individual decision, and then other players recognize that, are like, well, I'm going to make my own individual decision and do that as well. So I think maybe that was a factor as well before the Durant, I feel.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like the teams that made, basically it was just the Rockets that made like a serious run at the Warriors, and I feel like I said, it was a best case scenario for them that they
well, the Rockets are like one piece away from like being.
See, but the problem is that like they're older than the Warriors are. At least their key players are older than the Warriors are. And Chris Paul is a free agent this year. James Harden.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don't worry, the league will come block that for you. It's not David Stern anymore. I'm blanking on
who cares?
The commissioner of the NBA, but Donald Sterling. No, not Donald Sterling. Why did I come up with Donald Sterling? Whoa, that was weird. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I lost my train of thought a little bit here. Chris Paul is a free agent. Harden's in his early 30s. Chris Paul is already like pretty far along in his like mid 30s, and like I don't know that they can make another run at. I think this was their chance. I don't think like Curry is 30, and like Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant are all under 30, and so like what's happening in the NBA right now that like pisses me off a little bit is everyone is like everyone's gonna have to wait for the Warriors to be too old
or dismantle,
which I don't think will happen, because that would mean like
they're like
someone walking,
we're getting rings,
walking away from a guaranteed championship.
Yeah, they're basically like they're already getting money from their endorsements as well, so like that's compensating.
And then everyone waiting on the other end, everyone is now like everyone in the East that's relevant is in the LeBron James sweepstakes, and
well, who knows if LeBron might come to there's some rumors.
LeBron is not going to come to the West, because then he's not going to make it to the finals.
Okay.
Like any team, unless he joins the Rockets and the Rockets keep Chris Paul, the Rockets are not beating the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
Like I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it's like he's either going to stay. I think there's been talk of Philadelphia. I don't know that really is going to work. But and I think that Philadelphia, young teams don't win in the NBA playoffs. That's not normally how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like this whole, like, the Rockets, Warriors, the Warriors and Cavaliers being here 4 consecutive years, it's just, like, I don't see it ending, or at least like I said, Warriors, LeBron James. I don't see it ending for the next like 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and what is the rest of the league doing?
They're getting hyped up by ESPN and NBC.
Like we had a couple of entertaining series, but like if no one in the East could beat basically just LeBron James out and like the occasional Kevin Love appearance, like no one in the East could beat that. That team is literally just LeBron James.
Yeah, because they signed like half their team or more like in the off season after the season.
Well, yeah, and they made a bunch of trades at the deadline. Like they got a whole bunch younger and more athletic, but like if you look at even some of the games that they won and all of the games that they lost, like LeBron James is getting no help. He's having to score 45 every game, and the Warriors like if we're gonna look now specifically at like this upcoming series, like Warriors Cavs, like I do not see a scenario where this goes longer than 5. Like LeBron James gonna have to score 60 points every game because he has no help, and the Warriors are gonna get 20 to 25 from 4 different people every night.
Yeah,
and like the Cavs can't compete with that. They could barely compete with like the Celtics B team. Let alone with like a full strength. Well, like the Warriors don't have Andre Iguodala right now, but like,
so you're having obviously we're having Golden State win this series period.
Yeah, I don't see anywhere else around.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. I think the rest of the NBA is like the longer this goes on, the worse the NBA looks.
Well, I think the NBA already looks bad with more than 2 years of the same teams. But anyways, let us know in the comments down below. What do you guys think about this? Is this a discussion worth having? So let us know down below. Yes. All right. What's our next segment?
Our next segment is called 2-Minute Minors.
All right. Let's try to keep this under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
This time.
We might have to make it 4-minute minors.
Yeah. So yesterday there was a cool. We talked about. What were we talking about?
Words.
The foul ball. What's this guy's name again?
Reese Hoskins.
It was a pretty interesting play. And then how it worked out in the stat sheet as well.
It was pretty crazy.
But
so this was the Dodgers Phillies game last night. We're watching this live, or not live, but like we're watching the video right now. So this was the Dodgers Phillies game last night, last night as of recording anyway. And so Reese Hoskins up at the plate up against Kenley Jansen. And he gets an inside fastball that's literally, if he stands there, it's going to hit him. Like, he turns to swing, and if he doesn't swing, it's going to hit him square in the chest. But he takes a nice big rip at it, and foul tips the ball off of his own face. It is, if you guys just have to see this, especially if you're baseball fans, it is hilarious.
When you put that into the doc, I was like, this has to be funny enough to like for us to pay attention to it. I thought it was hilarious, but it was funny how the next batter got the strikeout.
Right, so...
But he got the strikeout because it's a switch.
Right. So on the stat sheet, Reese Hoskins got the strikeout, but like so he fouled the ball off of his own face, 90 whatever mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
Swinging at a pitch that was going to hit him. He would have got first base if he'd have just kept his bat where it was to begin with. Fouls it off his face, has to come out of the game because he's injured. The guy comes in, pinch hitter, strikes out. But that strikeout is credited to Hoskins
womp, womp,
and not the dude at the plate. So complete, absolute fail on all ends. He gets a strikeout and he wasn't even standing at the plate.
Yeah. All right, go check that out, guys.
It's a really funny video.
And see if you guys can come up with some cool memes and stuff out of that. And then game 1 of the Caps and Knights.
Stanley Cup.
I watched a bit of it. I know like it was like a back and forth in the beginning of the game. But I missed the end of it because it was just I had family over and stuff. But what'd you think?
I think this was a really good win for Vegas because Marc-Andre Fleury didn't play particularly well, and they were able to. I think they were down twice in this game.
Yes, the beginning of the game they were down 1.
They were down in the first and the third.
And then they came back and tied it up, and then got scored on again.
So I think this was a really big win for the Golden Knights. I think that again, how we were talking about the NBA Finals, like the fact that they're in the finals right now is a little bit of a referendum on.
Should go check out the
NHL.
On that.
But I mean, good for they're doing great with what they have, and the Capitals have a history of choking. Yep. This is as far as they've gotten. This particular group anyway, the farthest they've gotten with Ovechkin and Malkin.
Ovechkin was in a finals, but that was a long time ago. back when they played the Penguins, but that was like a good minute ago now.
So
Bam.
I think it was a really good win for the Golden Knights, and hopefully for their sake they can keep it up. I think Fleury won't play as poorly as he did today.
Game. Yeah. Okay. Let us know who you guys think is going to win this series. I think we're going to kind of be going... If we don't have anything else to fill in for the 2-minute minors, we'll probably talk about it again. But let us know if we don't. And
if you have any suggestions for the 2-minute minors, put those in the comment section as well.
Yeah, we will definitely do that if you do that, because why not?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's been Undrafted Opinions, ladies and gentlemen. Before you exit that video, go ahead and subscribe, and go ahead and like the video. And let us know how we're doing. And also you can suggest topics for the main topics as well. And if you're listening on SoundCloud, thank you. And let you know that there's a video version of this as well. And there's also an audio version the way around if you're watching on YouTube. And I've been Richard Rodillo.
You've been... Okay, I'm Jacob Bullard. I'm still Jacob Bullard.
Yes. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
See ya.